a young Mexican girl.
You better come home, Speedy Gonzales, away from Tannery Road.
Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. It's good to see you. Giving you another bit of information how to debate atheists on university campuses, colleges and schools, etc. The next piece of advice I would give to you is I would encourage you to study atheism and study the Christian scholars who oppose atheism. Now I'm going to give you some names and a bit of information of who the most helpful people for you will be. Now first of all, I would encourage you to study William Lane Craig. Now the atheists laugh at him and say they don't rate him, but he's actually one of the best debaters around. He's also got some really good arguments, and he will teach you, if you watch him, he will teach you a lot about how to debate. So I would encourage you to go and watch and study William Lane Craig. The next person I would encourage you to study is John Lennox. He's written a book called Gunning for God. Now that book is an excellent book in critiquing the new atheism. John Lennox is a professor of mathematics at the Oxford University, and he's particularly helpful for you if you've got some issues about science and you're debating atheists. So I would encourage you to seek out John Lennox. Okay. The other person I would encourage you to seek out is Professor Hart, who's written The Atheist Delusion. Professor Hart, I don't agree with everything, but he is masterful and he is a supreme intellectual, and he will help you immensely in deconstructing atheism. Another good person to read is Alistair McGrath's books on atheism. He's written a couple. He's written The Dawkins Delusion. He's written one on New Atheism. So Professor Alistair McGrath is a really good person to read if you want some quick information about the new atheist and how to deal with them. He was an atheist at one time, so he provides you with some real useful tips and arguments and ideas. Okay, so those are the three or four people that I would encourage you to look into, that will give you information, background material to study. Now I'm going to give you a few tips, okay, about the way atheists think, the way they operate, okay, in the literature. People like Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Daniel Dennett and Christopher Hitchens, if you look at their books, what they tend to do is they tend to concentrate on easy pot shots. So they will bring up issues like the Old Testament, for example, the way the Old Testament expounds morality, and they will critique that. Now what that teaches you, their mindset is this: they will not look for the best of your arguments. They will not look for the best of scholarship on your position. What they will do, generally, not always, but generally, they'll pick easy pot shots. So you will get in your debate easy pot shots. They will home in on the things that they feel they can easily bring to the public's attention to ridicule your belief. So you need to know what those pot shots are. Like, for example, the atheists always bring up there's rape in the Bible and genocide and all that. You need to look at these things, you need to think about them, you need to think about possible responses at these easy pot shots. The other thing is you need to realize that whatever the atheists tell you, the atheists will tell you atheism is all a variety of beliefs, there's different atheists. But actually, if you look at atheism today, actually there's a general pattern of way of thinking that they have. There's a general history that they have. So you need to look into the history of atheism the last 10-20 years, see how they think. You know, 9/11 had a big impact on atheists, okay? And you need to look at how atheists were impacted by 9/11. Look at the history of atheism. There's a 3-part series by Dr. Miller an atheist who did a 3-part series on the history of atheism. Have a look at that. That will give you some insights as to the way atheists think. There's a source book by Christopher Hitchens that he edited of source literature concerning atheism, and you can look at the source material and study many atheists throughout history. Okay, so I would encourage you to get hold of that source book. I forgot what it's called, but it's a real helpful source book. Okay, go on. It will pay dividends if you go on atheist websites. Go on their websites, look at what they're saying, listen to what they're saying, and think about what they're saying. Okay. Some places that I've found helpful is L'Abri Fellowship is a good place where you can go listen to lectures, and you can email the staff. You can even go and spend a week or two at their places, and they will help you think about issues. Okay. Next thing I'd say is, if you're studying atheism, their rhetoric can easily get into your skin, so you need to make sure that every hour that you study about atheism, make sure you spend 2 hours in the Word of God. Make sure you spend a lot of time in prayer. Okay. I would also encourage you to listen to people like Ravi Zachariah, Oz Guinness, Dr. Professor Wells. These are theologians and apologists that will help you to think through issues. And Dr. Tim Keller is another good guy. Okay, and these are people that will give you resources and ideas about any possible debate that you've got. Okay, if you want to get into some scholarship and Bible teaching, I would encourage you to go on to Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, Reformed Theological Seminary, and Covenant Theological Seminary. Do courses that you can study for free that will equip you in apologetics if you want to do courses that will help you. Okay, so all I would encourage you to do is make sure that you do your preparation, work hard, prepare, know your opponents well, who you're up against, know their weaknesses, make sure that your arguments are very clear, 3 or 4 points, make sure that you've got solid arguments, that you can provide solid evidence, and make sure those solid arguments are used to answer questions. Make sure you listen to people when they're asking questions, but answer the questions from your strong position. In the debate, make sure you hit every possibility that you hit their weakest point, and you throw everything you can at their weakest point, and you keep doing that, they will crumble. Okay, when you're doing it, you do it with confidence, you do it with kindness, and you do it with grace. You're not out to completely destroy people. You're out to show them the love of Christ and to win them over to the gospel. Okay, make sure that you've read widely what they say, read widely what we say. Okay, make sure you appeal to the whole human being, the logic, imagination, and emotion in the debate. Okay, make sure you've prayed before, during, and after the debate. And if you do those things, you will be good at what you're doing. Okay, and you'll be okay, and you'll hold your own. Okay, I would encourage you to write down what you want to say, write down your material if you're not an experienced communicator, and also I would encourage you to have some bits of information on note sheets that can remind you of any facts or information that might come in the debate and that you can quote, just in case. Okay, always be ready for the opportunity. You know, your opponent might give an opportunity for you to jump in and demolish them. Be open for that opportunity. Okay, be open, be ready for an ambush, because the atheists are very clever, and they will try to ambush you in some way. They will work out your weak point. So you got to have something in reserve in the debate, some information or argument that you keep back, that's strong, that is one of your strong points, but you keep it back just in case you get ambushed. Okay, just in case, and you can bring that strong point back in. But keep that strong point for your ending, and in question time, use that strong point. But have something in reserve, something you can fall back on in the debate if they ambush you. Okay? These people are brainwashed. They do think they're open-minded, but you'll find that they have a set way of thinking. It kind of goes like this: these people are just Bible bashers, they're not really into science, they'll just turn up, they're not really sort of deep thinkers, they're kind of dishonest people, and we can easily demolish them with a bit of science and a bit of reasoning. That's the way these people think. When you go into debate, you go in well armed. Go in well armed with scientific evidence, with whatever evidence you need to prove your point. You go in with it and you prove them wrong, alright? And you will hold your ground in that situation, but you'll be okay, alright? So thanks for listening and take care. And that's me done on how to demolish atheists in debate.
Stop all of your drinking.